Hello everyone, welcome to a new crochet tutorial. Today it's a very simple, very basic baby blanket. To make this blanket I used Pound of Love yarn from Lion brand yarns. This is a medium weight category 4 yarn, 100% acrylic. The specific color that I used is antique white. The recommended hook size for this yarn is J6 millimeters. However, I worked with a slightly smaller size hook, which was 5 millimeters. This is a square blanket and the finished size is about 33 by 33 inches. This is a beginner-friendly project. If you know how to make chains, single crochets, double crochets and slip stitches, you will be able to make this blanket. There is only one repeating row in the main stitch and it's very easy to remember. And for the border I used very simple basic scallops. As always, the written pattern will be available in my Etsy and Ravelry shops, and I want to say a huge thank you to those of you who purchase my patterns, and also a huge thank you to the members of my channel. Your help, your support is greatly appreciated. For the actual blanket, I started with 110 chains, but for the purpose of the tutorial, I will make a small sample. And for my sample, I will start with 30 chains. And I'm crocheting the chains quite loosely. And if you have hard time with that, I recommend that you use a slightly larger size hook to make the starting chain. Here I have 30 chains and I'm ready to start the first row. The first row is very easy. It's a row of single crochets. Into the second chain from the hook, I will make a single crochet. We never count the chain on the hook, we always start counting from the next one. So 1, 2, and over here into the second chain, I make a single crochet. And now all I'm gonna do is work a single crochet into each chain across. I finished the first row. It's just a row of single crochets. I turn my work and now I'm gonna start working the pattern, the stitch pattern of this blanket. I make one chain and now I will be working into the back loops only. This entire row will be worked into the back loops only. Into the first single crochet over here, I make a single crochet. And into the next single crochet, working into the back loop only, I make a double crochet. And now the pattern begins to alternate. Into the next stitch, working into the back loop only, I make a single crochet, and into the next one, I make a double crochet. And that's all I'm gonna do in this row. A single crochet, and a double crochet, a single crochet and a double crochet, and I'm gonna continue crocheting all the way across to the very last single crochet. Here I am at the end of this row. I just made a double crochet and now I have one stitch left. It's a single crochet, and I'm going to make the very last stitch single crochet through both loops, not the back loop only, but through both loops. And in each row now I will finish with a single crochet, making it through both loops, and that's gonna give me a better, sturdier edge. I turn my work and I start the next row with one chain. And now into the back loop only of the first single crochet, I work a single crochet. Now into the back loop only of the next double crochet, I work a double crochet. And the pattern begins to alternate. Over here, I have a single crochet, and into the back loop only, I make a single crochet. Next I have a double crochet, and into the back loop only I make a double crochet, and that's how I'm going to continue crocheting. A single crochet and a double crochet, a single crochet and a double crochet. And I'm gonna continue crocheting all the way across to the last single crochet, and the very last single crochet I will work through both loops. And here I am at the end of this row, and into the last single crochet through both loops I make a single crochet. I turn my work, and all I need to do now is to repeat row number 3. And I'm gonna continue crocheting until I have a bigger sample. And here I worked more rows, and this is what my sample looks like. I'm going to stop at this point. And actually the very first row over here was a row of single crochets. So what I'm gonna do is, for the very last row of the blanket, I'm also gonna work a row of single crochets. So I turn my work and start with 1 chain, and I will work a single crochet into the back loop only. So here is the first stitch, and I make a single crochet into the back loop. And the next stitch, again, I make a single crochet into the back loop, and I crochet this way all the way across. I made a row of single crochets, worked into the back loop only, and now I'm going to start working on the border or the trim, and I will be working around the perimeter of my piece. So now I turn my work and I will crochet along this side, and the first round is going to be a round of single crochets. So I start with 1 chain to get a bit of a height, and I will be working into the ends of rows over here, and into each end of row I will make 1 single crochet. So 1, and into the next end of row 1 single crochet as well. So you can see that the pattern repeats over here between this stitch and this stitch. So into each pattern repeat, basically I'm working 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and then again 1, 2, and again 1, 2, and I'm working these stitches quite loosely. I don't want the border be too tight, so I'm working the stitches loosely. So I continue crocheting all the way across to the first corner space. So here is the first corner. Before I continue crocheting, I'm just gonna weave in this yarn tail so that it will be hidden under the stitches. Now into the corner space right here, I'm going to make 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And now I will continue crocheting into the original chain, and into each stitch here I make 1 single crochet. And I'm gonna make single crochets all the way across to the next corner. And here I am at the next corner, and again into the corner I make 3 single crochets. And now I continue crocheting on this side, working into the ends of rows, and into each end of row I make 1 single crochet, and on this side I'm working my stitches quite loosely. And here I am at the next corner, and into the corner stitch again I make 3 single crochets. Now I will be working into the last row, and again into each stitch I make a single crochet. And over here at the very last corner, into the very last stitch, I make 3 single crochets, and then I join this round with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. So the round of single crochets around the perimeter of the blanket is now done. And now I'm going to make a round of basic scallops, and here's how I'm going to work them. I start with 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into the same stitch, into the same single crochet over here, I work 2 double crochets, 1, 2. I skip the next single crochet, and into the next one I make a slip stitch, and now the same sequence again. 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into the same single crochet I work 2 double crochets, 1, 2. I skip the next single crochet, and into the next one again a slip stitch, 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and 2 double crochets, 1, 2. Skip the next single crochet, and into the next one a slip stitch, 3 chains, and 2 double crochets, 1, 2. And I'm gonna continue crocheting this way all the way around the perimeter of the blanket. And here at the end of this round, over here I'm going to work the last scallop. And now I'm gonna make a slip stitch over here at the base of the very first scallop. So that's how I join. Now I can fasten off, hide the yarn tail, and the blanket is finished. Here is my finished blanket, and I want to make a quick note here is that when I was making the round of scallops on the sides of the blanket, where the single crochets were worked into the ends of rows, I was skipping 1 single crochet in between the scallops. However, at the bottom of the blanket and then also on the top of the blanket, I was skipping 2 single crochets. You can see over here there are 2 single crochets skipped instead of 1. And I did it that way so that I have a nice flat border over here. If I were to skip only 1 single crochet, all these scallops would be too crowded, creating a bit of a ruffled effect. And I wanted them to be nice and flat on all the sides. So again, on the sides over here, I'm skipping 1 single crochet in between the scallops, but on the bottom and on the top, I'm skipping 2 single crochets.